Hello everybody, this is Hollywood Matt Connolly with the double biceps. It is in the contract every single time I appear on camera. Nothing to do about it, it's in the fine print, definitely not something that I made up to flex my biceps at every single opportunity. Anyway, now we've got the formalities out the way. Wanted to give a big thank you to Ryan Bowen and his lovely wife Joanne for hosting me over the weekend. I had a tremendous time. I feel very, very lucky. As an arm wrestling fan, this was sort of like winning the lottery in a way for me. The opportunity to be part of the premiere that Ryan put together for the biggest match in arm wrestling history. Levan Sagashvili was taking on Devon Larratt, basically for the number one position in the world. So not only did I get to be part of the premiere video that led up to the event, but I got to sit side by side with Ryan Bowen and with Lachlan Adair, some of the top guys in Australian arm wrestling. To be able to watch the event and share that moment was absolutely incredible. We went live. We ended up having, I think, the video at the moment is around 400,000 views. That has people have seen that. We had the live chat going, and at one point there was, I think, 18,500 people all in the chat, all with us, watching the stream with us. And the messages were flying so fast. It was crazy. There's a thing called super chats where people can donate money, and they put a little message. So if you wanted to write something and you put $2 in and say, hey, Matt, you're an idiot, I just wanted to tell you that, but it'll be highlighted, and that's sort of those super chat comments. We were struggling to keep up with them because they're usually quite rare, but they were flying in left and right. And the last thing you want to do is miss one. If somebody has paid some money to tell you something or ask a question, or if they're genuinely, a supporter, you don't want to miss their donation. But the chat was flying so fast. It was 2 comments per second, and Ryan was scrolling on his mouse wheel to try to keep up. Like it was zooming. Like you would type a comment and it would zoom, and so we were trying to keep on top of these super chats. I don't know if we actually missed a couple, and apologies to the people that did have a comment missed, but we had a tremendous time. The match took place. It ended up being my prediction, which was Levan taking it 6-0. I guess, the tide had turned leading up to the event in terms of the betting favourites. Devon actually ended up being the betting favourite leading into the event. I think he was sitting about 53% as we were about to start the event. So 53% of people believed that Devon would win. Not only that he would win a single round to win their betting stake, but he would win the entire match. So there was a lot of faith, a lot of support behind Devon leading into the match. Unfortunately for Devon, Levan is just next level. He absolutely crushed Devon. I think that Devon came away with an injury in the second round. Still to be confirmed. I believe there was something with his bicep being strained in a certain position, which forced him to change his technique in the later rounds. But all props to Devon Larratt and to Levan for putting on an amazing event. The production was very, very high quality. They did a tremendous job. Neil Pickup did a fantastic job as the announcer throughout the event. We had Neil Pickup was also commentating with Ray, the voice of arm wrestling, and they had definitely stepped up in terms of their level of production with the camera shots. They had 2 different cameras on the opposite sides of the table. They had a bit of a haze going on, which looked tremendous when they zoomed right in. They had a good seating arrangement with the crowd. I know in the previous King of the Table events, they've had, it looked sort of like it was in the back of a casino and people in the background were sort of playing on their phones, not paying attention to what was going on whatsoever, and people were sort of wandering through like they were lost trying to find the gaming room. None of that happened this time. They had an invested crowd of people, supporters directly behind the athletes, 2 levels. Very clever. every one of those people were involved, they were switched on, and it does add a lot to the viewing audience's perspective. When you're watching a match, you want to see that the people that are there also watching, that are seeing this thing take place in front of them, that they want to see it, that they are there, they might have paid entry, but they are keen to see the result of this match. It does make an impact, and well done to King of the Cage for recognizing that, making that adjustment. The stream held together very strongly. We only had to restart it one time, whereas previous times we've had some bigger issues. And I think that it was just one little pause. We're like, no, we'll just restart it just to make everything go again so that we don't miss out. And yeah, it ran very smoothly from that end. A couple of little other things they could have done with production. One thing I would have done in between the matches, they sort of switched to like an overhead view, which was kind of not very interesting. Which is a camera that was right in the top corner of the room, overseeing the room. And it sort of sat there for a few minutes in between matches, and it's like, well, if you've got these two commentators in Ray and Neil that you're trusting to present the event, switch to them, put the camera on them, let them present, talk about the match that's either just happened or is coming up. That would have been a little bit of an improvement, something that they could have done. Maybe they'll do that for the next event, but they are improving, they are doing well. I know that this pay-per-view would have sold tremendously. Devon Larratt, probably the world's most recognizable figure in arm wrestling, so that would have helped things tremendously. But in terms of my experience, I feel incredibly lucky. It was almost like I had won a prize or something. Your prize is that you get to go and sit with Ryan Bowen and Lachlan Adair and watch this match and commentate with 400,000 other people getting to see what it was just like, wow. And then on the Monday that I was up there for a few days with Ryan, talked about all sorts of things. Arm wrestling was fantastic. And then the Monday I did an episode with the Aussie arm wrestler, Jake Ward. Managed to jump on with him, and he had Uncle John, and we were treated by a special guest in Don Hollywood Underwood. So it was the original Hollywood that made his appearance, and obviously a tremendous guy. If you haven't seen that episode, that is up on Jake Ward, the Aussie Arm Wrestlers channel. Check that out. But I just wanted to say a big thank you to the arm wrestling world. I love this community. I'm coming in as a fan of arm wrestling and trying to do my bit to help promote the sport. And when I see opportunities like this take place, I just feel like the luckiest person in the world. So thank you, everybody. And let's hope that the future will remain as bright as it is going. I think that arm wrestling is right on that precipice of really becoming a massive sport. So we're going to push as hard as we can to make it happen. All right. Thanks, guys.